What's going on, everybody? Trainer Tommy here. I am the lead trainer over at our Gresham Club, and today I'd like to talk a little bit about passive stretching, why it doesn't seem to protect your muscles during movement, and what to do instead. So first and foremost, what is passive stretching? It's basically you relaxing, choosing a specific set of muscles, and elongating those muscles. You've seen this done many times. You see people on stretching racks and they're hanging their arms above their heads and stretching their lats, or leaning forward and stretching their chest. The hamstring stretch might be the most common one that I see. And so the question is, how come with all those precautionary or preparatory movements, we end up getting hurt during our movement? And the real reason is because passive stretching and what the body goes through during that protocol doesn't happen during movement. And what do I mean by that? What do you mean passive stretching doesn't happen during movement? And it boils down to this one simple fact. When you bend yourself in half and stretch those hamstrings, basically the whole body gets nice and relaxed. You breathe deeply, oxygenate those muscles, calm the central nervous system down. But you're missing one key factor that happens during all movement. When one muscle elongates during movement, another muscle group is contracting. And if you do not have that reciprocity from opposing muscle groups, your body doesn't really know what's going on. And so, what should you do beforehand? Go through some dynamic movement sequences. You've seen this done for decades. I mean, literally, any sport that you've ever watched, you watch what they do out on that field, walking with their legs straight and kicking high and twisting their bodies. And they're forcing their own muscles to take their joints through their natural range of motion. That is what happens during movement, right? You could take a jog, for example. Your hamstring doesn't ever get pulled to a long position without the quadricep on the top of your thigh contracting, right? So when you bend yourself in half and do a hamstring stretch, unless you're flexing that quadricep pretty intensely, you're going to get no benefit at all as far as protection during the movement. And then you would even go further to argue that running doesn't happen in a static hip position. If you sit on the floor, bend forward and pull your hamstring tight, and even if you were to flex your quadricep, the hip is just stuck in the same position. Also, something that does not happen during running. So I guess the bottom line boils down to this. The more accurately you can institute things that happen during your movement, the better off you're going to be. Using the same planes of motion, the same rotational movements, flexion, extension, whatever it may be, the more of what your activity demands of that body, the more of that you get into your warm-up sequence, the better off you're going to be. And for all of you who may be disappointed in my bashing of passive stretching, have no fear. Passive stretching is not a bad thing. It's very, very good and therapeutic. It helps to calm the central nervous system down and oxygenate muscles. But I would strongly recommend that you implement that protocol at the end of the workout when you're all said and done, and help relax the body down to its natural state. But just remember, before movement, your body must move in specific ways to help protect itself during the aggressive movements you plan for your workout or your game or whatever activity it may be. So anyway, I hope this tip helped, and I will see you guys next time around.